Deep in the Sonoran Desert, a pair of greater roadrunners built a nest hidden inside a thorny chala cactus. Curious, both parents work together, weaving dry twigs, lining the inside with feathers, grass, and sometimes the shed skin of a snake. Then one day, a tiny beak breaks through the shell. Excited, one by one, all 5 chicks hatch, wet, blind, and no bigger than a thumb. The nest that was once silent is now alive with open beaks and the constant demand for food. Within 3 weeks, the chicks are ready. One by one they jump from the nest and touch the desert floor for the very first time. The parents stay close, teaching them to hunt. And slowly, step by step, 5 young roadrunners disappear into the vast desert, ready to survive on their own.
Now let's move on to some fascinating facts about one of the most interesting birds in North America, the roadrunner. Fast, fierce, and full of surprises. Let's start with what this bird actually looks like. The roadrunner is about 2 feet long from its beak to the tip of its tail, roughly the size of a large crow. Its feathers are streaked in brown, black, and white, which gives it perfect camouflage in dry desert landscapes. On top of its head sits a shaggy crest that it raises and lowers depending on its mood, like a built-in mood indicator. And here's a detail most people don't know. Behind each eye, there's a patch of bare skin that shifts from bright blue to vivid orange-red. You rarely see it because it's usually hidden under feathers. But when the bird gets excited or threatened, that colourful patch becomes fully visible. Now, about speed and movement. Despite its name suggesting it only runs, the roadrunner can actually fly. It just chooses not to. Its body is too heavy for efficient flight, so it sprints instead, reaching speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. Some individuals have even been clocked at 26 miles per hour in short bursts, making it one of the fastest running birds in North America that is still capable of flight. While running, it stretches its neck forward, spreads its wings slightly, and uses its long tail like a rudder to steer through sharp turns. It can also jump straight up from the ground to catch insects, bats, and even hummingbirds in mid-air. Next, hunting. The roadrunner is a fierce and creative predator. It eats lizards, scorpions, tarantulas, mice, frogs, centipedes, and even other birds. It has been spotted snatching birds right from backyard feeders. But the most impressive prey? Rattlesnakes.
When facing a rattlesnake, the roadrunner moves with incredible speed and agility, dodging the fangs and striking the snake's head repeatedly with its sharp beak until the snake is stunned.
Then it slams the prey against the ground over and over to break the bones, which makes the snake easier to swallow whole. And here's the teamwork part. Sometimes a pair of roadrunners hunts together. One bird distracts the rattlesnake from the front, while the other sneaks around and pins its head to the ground. It's coordinated, calculated, and ruthless. On top of all this, the roadrunner is the only known predator of the tarantula hawk wasp, one of the most painful stinging insects on the planet. Now here's how it survives in the desert. The desert is an extreme environment, boiling hot during the day and freezing cold at night. The roadrunner has adapted to both. Every morning it performs what looks like sunbathing. It spreads its back feathers to expose dark patches of skin underneath, which absorb heat like solar panels. In winter, it does this several times a day just to stay warm enough to function. On the other end, in scorching summer heat, the bird becomes most active at dawn and dusk, avoiding the worst of the midday sun altogether. It also has a special gland near its eye that filters excess salt out of the bloodstream, removing it through secretion rather than through urine. This clever adaptation saves precious water in an environment where every drop counts. And on the coldest winter nights, the roadrunner enters a state called torpor. Its metabolism slows down, its body temperature drops slightly, and it conserves energy until the sun rises again. One of the most iconic things about this bird is its footprint, a perfect X shape, with 2 toes pointing forward and 2 pointing back. This is because, like all members of the cuckoo family, roadrunners have what's called zygodactyl feet, an unusual arrangement that gives them incredible grip and agility on rocky, uneven desert ground. But that X-shaped track has another side to it. It makes it completely impossible to tell which direction the bird was heading. Native American tribes, including the Hopi and other Pueblo peoples, considered this footprint sacred. They believed it confused evil spirits and prevented them from following the souls of the dead. Roadrunner tracks have been found carved into ancient rock art across the southwest. Feathers from the bird were woven into cradle boards to protect newborn babies. And among the Pima people of Mexico and the American Southwest, simply seeing a roadrunner was considered a sign of good luck. And when it comes to relationships, roadrunners mate for life. The courtship ritual is elaborate and surprisingly tender. The male chases the female on foot, pausing frequently to rest. He approaches her carrying a stick or a blade of grass, and either drops it at her feet or places it directly in her beak. He also performs a full dance, bowing deeply, wagging his tail from side to side, spreading his wings, all while making soft cooing sounds. And sometimes, to really seal the deal, he shows up holding a lizard or a snake in his beak, a gift that says, "I can provide for you." Once the pair bonds, both birds build the nest together, a platform of sticks lined with grass, leaves, feathers, and sometimes even pieces of snakeskin. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs and feeding the chicks. The young birds leave the nest after about 3 weeks, but the parents continue feeding them for another month after that. Now, what about the cartoon? Most people first learned about the roadrunner through the famous Looney Tunes series, where a speedy blue bird is chased endlessly by Wile E. Coyote. But the real bird sounds nothing like meep meep. Its actual call is a slow, low, dove-like cooing, sometimes mournful, sometimes almost ghostly.
The male calls from fence posts and treetops in the early morning to mark his territory. The female responds with a series of short, coyote-like shrills. They also communicate by rapidly snapping their beaks together, a dry, mechanical clattering sound. Curious, and here's the big myth the cartoon got wrong. In real life, the coyote is actually twice as fast as the roadrunner. So that endless chase? It would end very quickly in the wild. Pause, and one last thing worth knowing. Roadrunner fossils have been found in La Brea tar pits in California, dating back tens of thousands of years. This bird has been running across North American deserts since the last ice age. Today, around 1.4 million greater roadrunners live across the American Southwest, and the species is considered stable. Proud, the roadrunner is also the official state bird of New Mexico and a symbol of speed, courage, and resilience across the entire region.
So next time you see one dart across a desert road, you're looking at a 33,000-year-old survivor. And it's probably heading somewhere faster than you think.